What was supposed to be one of Grand Theft Auto 6's biggest rivals is now pretty much dead and completely cooked. And we'll be talking about what's going on, what happened, what the game is, and more all in this video today. And that game is Mindseye. And Mindseye was supposed to be one of Grand Theft Auto 6's rivals for several reasons. Number one, the founder of the studio, Build a Rocket Boy, was Leslie Benzies, who used to be the former president and creative director at Rockstar Games, and was essentially responsible for all of their titles that have come out. From Grand Theft Auto to Red Dead Redemption to Bully to Max Payne, he was responsible behind the creative elements like the story and the characters that we got to experience in those amazing worlds. And so when he left and went to create his own sort of story in his own world, many believed that that would be a rival to Grand Theft Auto. And we also know that Mindseye, even though it isn't truly an open world experience, it is in the action adventure category. It's got cars, it's got fighting, it's got, shooting mechanics. So naturally, those two games were going to be compared. Now, I think they're going to be compared a little bit less for several reasons. One of those is Grand Theft Auto 6 being delayed until May 2026. I honestly don't even think people are going to be talking about Mindseye then, but if they had come out just months apart, you might have talked about the comparison a little bit more. But another reason why I don't think people are going to be talking about it is because Mindseye completely flopped. And now, unfortunately, it looks like Leslie Benzies' studio is going to have massive layoffs, essentially firing everyone that worked on the game. So this is an article that came out on IGN. Mindseye developer Build a Rocket Boy begins layoff process amid disastrous launch, studio sources say. And this is what the article goes on to state. Build a Rocket Boy has told staff a redundancy process has begun amid the disastrous launch of Mindseye. The cuts could affect over 100 employees, studio sources have told IGN. One person who asked to remain anonymous in order to protect their career told IGN there's no word yet on exactly how many staff are affected, but the standard 45-day consultation process starts today, June 23rd, which according to UK law is triggered when an employee processes 100 or more redundancies within a 90-day period. IGN understands Build a Rocket Boy currently has around 300 UK employees with around 200 abroad, and they have asked Build a Rocket Boy for comment. Now, the rest of the article goes on to say this: staff now face an anxious wait to find out whether they will be affected. Meanwhile, there are serious questions over whether Build a Rocket Boy will be able to fulfill its post-launch roadmap for content, including the promised multiplayer mode on time. Last week, Build a Rocket Boy said it was heartbroken over the issues players had faced with the recently released game, and promised to issue a series of patches to fix significant performance problems, glitches, and AI behavior issues. And the rollout on those patches has begun. All the meanwhile, Mindseye's trouble launch saw the developer cancel sponsored streams and reports of players securing refunds, even from the normally stubborn Sony. On Steam, which does not paint the whole picture of Mindseye's current popularity, the game hit a peak concurrent player count of 3,302 on launch, but at a 24-hour peak of just 130 players. At the time of this article's publication, 52 people were playing on Steam, with a mostly negative user rating. Mindseye was initially part of Everywhere, the Roblox for adults game creation platform led by former Grand Theft Auto design chief Leslie Benzies. Build a Rocket Boy based in Scotland eventually switched focus to Mindseye, its story-driven action-adventure game, but it has so far failed to do business for the company. In an email to staff received by IGN, co-CEO Mark Gerhardt insisted the studio remain committed to Mindseye, but pointed to a shift from an intense development and launch phase to a sustainable post-launch support phase. Gerhardt had hit headlines ahead of Mindseye's launch, claiming there was a concerted effort by some to trash the game in the studio, suggesting some people were paid or using spam bots to post negative comments. And the boss of publisher IO Interactive, which makes the Hitman games, issued a denial. So even before the game came out, they were dealing with controversy. Once the game came out, they dealt with more controversy because of all the glitches, bugs, and things that were wrong with it. And now, after the game has come out, after so few people are playing it, after all the reviews have mostly been negative, unfortunately what's happening is the studio is having to lay off employees. And we don't know if it's all of the employees, but we do know it's at least a third of them. And that is never a good thing. So it really is unfortunate because I had high hopes for Mindseye when I first initially heard of the game that Leslie Benzies was creating, but as time went on and we learned less and less about the game, and we didn't really know what it was going to be. Was it going to be an open world experience? Was it going to be this linear story-based game? It eventually turned into sort of this story-based action adventure game, but I think everyone was still confused. Was it part of a bigger universe like the Everywhere universe? Was Mindseye its own standalone game? And now begs the question, what's going to happen next? The game is honestly not all that great. There are parts of it that are good, like the visuals are incredible. Some of the cutscenes look absolutely insanely realistic, and the Unreal Engine 5 looks incredible for that title. But there's just so much still wrong with it. It feels like a GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition all over again, where the only way this game can be salvaged is if it receives a ton of post-content launch support. And there have been games that have successfully done that. And I know this isn't a great direct comparison, but Cyberpunk 2077, when it launched, was pretty much the same disaster. It had lots of glitches and bugs. Things didn't work properly. There were parts of the game that did not work. There was things that were promised that were not there. But over time, CD Projekt Red committed to their promises, and they kept updating and fixing the game. And now Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the most beloved and honestly best video games of all time, even after its disastrous launch. However, it doesn't look as if Mindseye is going to be able to recover from this, and this truly might be the end of the Grand Theft Auto 6 rivalry here, if there even was one. And it just felt honestly like a weird and bad time for Mindseye to release. It felt like when they were trying to get the game out on June 10th, 2025, they were doing so to like get ahead of all the other games, because I would assume their theory is that if ours is the only new game out right now, maybe people will play it and enjoy it. But it kind of turns out that worked against them, because right now, at least in the United States, it's summer. People are taking time off from work. They're on vacation. Kids are out of school. So people that are typically playing these games might not necessarily be playing them right now. So to have your launch in the middle of summer when more people are outside, spending time with friends and family, it's not honestly that great of an idea. Grand Theft Auto 6 can kind of get away with that because it's going to be the biggest game of all time. And it comes out about a month earlier in May when people are still in school. Summer hasn't officially begun quite yet. So the timing of that was super weird. And the fact that about a month before that game came out, Rockstar decided to drop Grand Theft Auto 6's second trailer. They gave a huge info dump with new screenshots, information about the world and the characters. So everyone started focusing on that and started focusing less on Leslie Benzies' Build a Rocket Boys Mindseye. So it looks like this could be the beginning of the end. I don't think there was much of a rivalry, but if there was even one, I think that's pretty much over by now. Let me know what you guys think, though, in those comments down below. Do you think Mindseye is cooked? Do you think it's dead on arrival? Do you think it will ever recover and become a rival to Grand Theft Auto 6? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.